Hello everyone, welcome to Slipjoint Sawyer. Today we're taking a look at a traditional knife from RoseCraft Blades, and this is their newest reintroduction of the best-selling knife they've had, and that is the Beaver Barlow. This one is the new cover material, which I'm really excited to show you. I really think it's a massive upgrade on the bourbon bone, but let's jump straight into it and look at the box. So we got the RoseCraft blades at the top, the interlocking R and C. We make knives for people who love knives. You have the rosecraftblades.com website on this side and the same again on the back. The very end tab then you have the model name and number. So you've got RoseCraft Beaver Barlow in the Smokey grey, and then again it retains the same number just with a little change at the end. RCT006-GY, GY standing for the grey, and of course this one is made in China, so we are looking at an imported knife. Bottom of the box again you can see the same logo as the front. And then again, the same sort of stickers you got on the bottom end of the knife. Barcode, the name, model number, China again. Knife comes really well presented then inside this like pull-out style box with a little bit of ribbon on the end to pull it out. Nice foam cutout that holds the knife in there really secure. And as it's a carbon steel, well, semi-carbon as in D2 steel, comes wrapped in this sort of wax tissue paper to keep it nice and sort of patina free, because although D2 isn't full carbon steel, it can take a patina or rust if you're not careful with it, but I've not had any problems with the RoseCraft D2 steel. I think they did a fantastic job of the heat treat and stuff on it. So pop this to one side and we'll take a look at the knife. So here it is, the newest sort of reincarnation of the Beaver Barlow. Exactly the same, just with the change of the cover material. So we have a closed length of just over that sort of 3.5 inch mark. You can see this really wonderful smoky grey bone, dyed perfectly, and they've done a fantastic job of that. And again, the colour match on the reverse side of that is fantastic, and that's what I really like to see when the colours match on the front to the rear. See, we have stainless pins holding this together. We have a slight change to the bolsters, whereas these are more of a polished finish compared to the original one, which was sort of a brushed finish. So you will have to excuse the fingerprints for these polished bolsters. It is a real fingerprint magnet. So you've got the same laser etching on there of the RoseCraft R interlocking C. Nice squared bolster then with a line right through it, and the same on the reverse as well. No pinch bolsters, nothing fancy, just a nice square end cap on there. Makes it a traditional Barlow pattern then, as it's got a bolster that's about 1/3 length of the entire knife. We do have the integral bolsters and liners, which are stainless steel. You can see there, the bolster goes straight into the liner all the way down, and the build quality is absolutely superb. No quality control issues at all as far as I can tell. No gaps, nothing. Honestly, it looks like a solid piece from some angles. If you catch the light just right, you can work out where the spring is. Of course, the spring is stainless steel as well. We're looking at right down the middle, as you'd expect from RoseCraft, as we're used to their sort of quality control. Really nice flush spring, no stepping, anything like that. Pins done wonderfully, polished over, so you don't get any of the hammer marks on there. So it's just done to a really high quality. No cracking on the bone as well, which can be quite difficult to do, especially when you're putting pins in. Squared off tang then, so you know we're going to have a half stop. And this has the sheep's foot style sort of ram's foot in it, but it is a little bit more narrow here than it is up here. And eagle-eyed viewers will notice that we have an updated tang stamp. This is actually a stamp now. It's the RoseCraft stamped in there, whereas the previous model I have here had the old laser etch stamp. You can see that on there, and you can see the more of the brushed finish on the bolsters. And there is the bourbon bone compared to the smoky grey. It's so hard to choose between them, but I'm more of a sort of, I like the colour black. It's my favourite colour. Everything I own pretty much is black, so I will always go with the darker handle material if there is a choice. Blade length on this, we have tip to tang of 1 to 2.8 inches thereabouts, and then a cutting edge of just shy of 2.5, very small amount there. So this is a very UK legal knife. Of course, the blade is less than 3 inches, and it being a slip joint means it's legal to carry. Really nice walk and talk on this too. Really audible. I'd give this probably about a 6 to a 6.5 on the pull. Nice strong lockup, and especially with that ricasso / kick at the bottom there. If you choke up on this, there's no chance this is going to close on you, as you've got full control over that blade. Really sort of nice modern take on a traditional pattern here from Andy. Of course, you have the traditional styling of, you know, the retaining the traditional style bolster with the sort of slightly swelled end of the Barlow, but with all the modern touches you want. So the modern build quality, the modern materials like the stainless steel, and the updated steel on the blade, which is D2 compared to a lot of traditional Barlows. Especially British Barlows will use like a C70 carbon steel. Doesn't hold an edge as long, but takes a wicked patina. Back of the blade then, we have Andy Armstrong's Maker's Mark D2 steel, RCT006-GY. Really have not so much as fallen in love with the tungsten, that's probably the wrong word, but excuse me. But I really do prefer this now. When I first started collecting the RoseCrafts, I was a massive fan of this etch here, and I was a bit annoyed when they changed it to the stamp, but comparing the two, I'd take the stamp any day. I think it just looks a little bit more classy. A little bit more traditional looking of a stamp like this, just the plain text rather than the modern style etch. As I mentioned, really nice walk and talk, nice affirmative half stop. Just love the grey bone. Any knife they bring out with a grey bone, I'll be buying. Really well done laser etch there as well. Compare that to the older one. You can see there the difference. If I wipe my greasy fingerprints off the knife, you can see the difference there between the brushed steel bolster and the more of the polished steel there. You can see there's much more of a reflection in the left hand in the grey bone. Everything identical then, just done to a very high standard. A really nice modern take on a traditional pattern. If you guys want one of these, I'd be very quick. I know they are flying off the shelves in the US. I know Andy is sold out of the Bourbon bone again on rosecraftblades.com, and he has got low stock of the Smokey grey bone. Heine Haynes then here in the UK have got some stock of both of these. If you want them, get over there right now and pick them up, because they're going to fly off the shelves. This is the best selling RoseCraft knife to date, and it was the best selling knife of last year as well. But there we go, guys. That's my sort of second take on the Beaver Creek Barlow from RoseCraft Blades. That model number again for you is RCT006-GY. I really hope you enjoyed this review. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.